He's from New York. There was a whole Netflix on it.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone.
I meant Larry King bagels, not Larry David.
Yeah.
Is Larry King, was he Jewish, Larry King?
Yes.
Assalamu alaikum.
Hello. I said assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum. Hello.
Hello. We're going to make Pakistan better again, remember?
Hey, Edith.
I love you so much.
Chicago cheeseburger. Did you find any good?
Faggot for a second.
Did you find any good Nora?
Faggot.
Yeah. Faggot.
Happy birthday, Ryan.
What's her name though, Missy?
Yes, I have, David Bobadilla. Did you see the Thanksgiving Day special? The Diego Nora Thanksgiving special? I'll put it in the chat.
Yeah, I have to check it out.
Yeah, the problem with it is that it's 2.5 hours.
Did you relabel it? You
Al, it's a special. Did you think I was going to do a 3-hour movie? 2.5? I saved you 30 minutes.
You need to do
highlights.
Wow, yeah.
It's the kind of movie you put on with the family for 4 hours. Just go crazy with it. Love it. Enjoy it. This is the hair care special. Get out from the dandruff problem once and for all. This is the big one. We finally made it gold. This is our big topic. Let's celebrate.
Like animate their faces.
Is Head & Shoulders sponsoring your video?
Well, I recently had my campaign manager write a letter for solicitation and donation to my political campaign to Procter & Gamble. Because everyone's talking, so I'm loud micing like my good friend Dr. Adams.
Oh, by the way, Ryan, Adams wrote you happy birthday in the chat earlier, but you were sleeping.
Whose birthday is it?
Ryan.
Oh, Ryan T. Boswell. Happy birthday.
Thank you, David.
Now give him a
Adam
kiss.
thinks I ignore him for everything.
Yeah, give him a big sweaty, saliva kiss. Give him a French kiss.
Oh my god, 15 minutes.
Who am I giving a kiss to?
Like this, Ryan.
How old are you now, Ryan?
29.
He's 30. Yeah, right, Nora. You're
Next year's going to be the big one.
That was a good one, Abby.
Hey, David, where's your girlfriend, Nora?
Abby,
by the way, they doxed the wrong Nora, the fucking dumbass. I told you. Where's David?
Listen, Rick is probably trying to keep her safe. But Rick's like, she's 39 years old.
Someone ping Rick. Ping Rick.
You mean Eric? David, ping Rick. Eric? Where's Eric Daniel Molester?
Abby, you need to remember the mission.
Yes, but David is so pinging Eric.
I just want to announce that this is the Diego Nora special part 2. Action!
Please ping in Diego. Give us the link. I mean Eric. Yeah. Eric.
Oh, somebody kicked me from the room. Ah, it's too bad.
Hatred. It just sucks. That's all we're saying.
Nobody said you had.
Okay. No, but criticism is not hate. We just want to be entertained. That's all, madam.
No. Some certain criticism is hate.
I agree.
Because not all criticism is constructive. Similar
hate?
Similar to the constructive. Help me out, y'all.
There's a lot of people doing
hate.
Wait, I have a question.
Hey, hold on, y'all. Hey, it's on bed. My bad, y'all. I know a few of y'all want to talk. Just let me know who else want to talk, though.
I was just gonna ask, like, what specific hate were people giving out? Because what I'm seeing is, like, a lot of people are kind of like, and I like Kendrick Lamar. I'm from California, but I feel like a lot of people are extra riding on him because they don't like Drake and they like the fact that, Kendrick called out Drake, right? Because a lot of people have, like, a personal issue with Drake because, of some of the things he does. But it's like, if people were up in here, like, hating on Drake, which some people do, would you be like, oh, well, why are you hating on Drake? No. So, like, why if somebody simply didn't care for the Super Bowl performance, that's suddenly like, oh, you're hating on Kendrick. Why the Kendrick hate? Like, no, some people just didn't care for the performance.
People in here.
We have said that. We have asked why people hate on Kendrick.
Okay, but what exactly?
Hold on. Kendrick, hold on. Kendrick's performance. Yeah.
to do with.
Hey, wait, I want Bev to finish talking back to you.
No, I was done. I was just asking Noble what exactly was hateful, or like did you hear that was hateful about Kendrick? Because people didn't care for the performance, or
No. I'll answer this. I'm listening to what she's talking about, right? And she said something about Drake being the reason people saying his performance sucked. I'm trying to figure out, like...
No, I didn't say that. No, like, let me correct you. I didn't say Drake was the reason his performance sucked. I said that I feel like a lot of people are kind of riding on Kendrick right now because they like the fact that he called out Drake, because there's a lot of people that already just did not fuck with Drake. So
like they bandwagoning it with him because they don't like Drake, so they kind of bandwagoning it with Kendrick.
I challenge anyone in this room to say something intelligent. Say something intelligent. Anyone. I challenge anyone.
Oh, wow. It's just so... You don't even sound intelligent yourself.
Wisdom, shut the fuck up.
Okay, so I'll answer you from my opinion, right? I do somewhat agree with you, Bev. Like, there are a certain group of people that just simply don't like Drake, and they just want to jump on the bandwagon. I'll say it explicitly. I think it's just some white people, right? There are some black people doing it too, but I think that when it comes to the
Mondo.
Go ahead.
I mean, Mondo's DS, so I was just wondering if you were engaging with him or not.
Some of the other people were mostly. I think I only exchanged with him a couple times, but it wasn't in depth. Okay, so you've got this belief, you believe the Christian God exists, and that your reasoning for that is that there are things that we don't know, and that you believe that there's like a higher power.
Yeah, like God, yeah.
Got it. I mean, I have a problem with the statement higher power.
I got you, but like, what are the consequences of not playing the game? In your
consequences are not playing the game, or missing out on something that a lot of people have done, and that is extremely pleasurable and is like a desired kind of like the human experience or something. But like, keep in mind that the person that you're talking about that abstains is only going to abstain on the reasons of a cost benefit analysis that something far worse would happen to them.
Something like that.
What does that mean? The U.S. is gonna bomb Gaza?
No, he will let Israel to destroy Gaza completely with all bombs.
Right. So basically, Trump is wanting so Ishak wasn't wrong with what he said. It just sounds cuter. It just sounds cuter that it comes out of Netanyahu's mouth. I get it.
What makes it cute? I didn't know it was cute.
No, I'm being a smartass. Okay, stop.
You're being smart?
No, smart ass.
What ass? You ain't got no ass. You ain't got no smart.
Look, I hate that, man.
This is.
No, he's not. Don't get them. This is normal.
No, it's cute. It's cute coming out of your mouth.
What? Which part?
I don't know. It's just cute coming out of your mouth. I'm just being a smartass.
You're not smart. No, Ishak, I don't like that. I don't know. I don't, in my faith in God, I know that, like, whatever needs to be done, I don't know what that is. But God just tells me to pray. I don't believe in, there should not, like, one...
Exactly. You don't know what should be done. You don't know what should be done because you're not smart.
No, I know the Bible, and God tells me that I should be praying for peace. But why isn't that...
You can move in.
If people are reading the Bible and they believe in God, like, God clearly says for us to pray for peace.
Pray for peace.
People don't want... Yeah.
I don't want any death. That we've had enough death.
I know, like, when they say, there's been this many Palestinians that died. This many Jews that have died. How about one innocent life is one too many? It doesn't, like, they're trying to one-up on who has more dead bodies.
You see, I don't think you understand one of the purposes of praying for peace is so you win the war.
Wait a second. War has nothing to do with about praying for peace. We want no death. in Ukraine. There's so many people that died in Ukraine. We want our war to end immediately. You know.
Well, pray for peace.
Enough of the death. Enough of the death and killing. Like.
Yeah, I know. It's an unfortunate occurrence when people have rifles and grenades and they're shooting at each other. This is what happens when people fight to the death. People die in the process. But you should pray for peace.
But why are people fighting to death over what?
Because it's called. Explain a war to us. Explain a war. It's so complicated. You think I can give you a decompressed statement in 3 sentences? It's so complicated. There's a million variables on why there's wars.
I know, but like, why do I feel like why is the go-to to just like kill people?
What the fuck do you think a war is? If there's no killing, it's not a war.
I know. Listen, okay, I'm a woman. I don't want to see that shit.
If you don't like the mathematical equations of words and sentences, you should pray for peace.
Exactly. And yes, I am praying for peace. That's what you're exactly right, wisdom.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes.
Have you ever
I got what you're saying.
Yes, I'm a soldier.
Did you serve in?
I served in the United States Army. Who?
My dad did too.
I served in 2002 to 2007.
Then you should know that then we both fought in useless wars. Then you should know why we didn't be fighting.
I'm not saying wars are worthless or useless. I'm saying that they are technically funeral processions. All the leaders are presiding over a funeral, and that's exactly what wars are. That's what the Tao Te Ching says. It's a book. It says that essentially war is the dumbest thing in the world. However, if you look at history, there's winners and there's losers. It's better to be the winner than it is to be the loser. And you don't want a Pyrrhic victory. You want a victory.
But what does winning look like?
Again, there's no winning or losing. It's a funeral procession. It's a funeral procession.
Exactly. No, you're right. And so these people are like, oh, yes, Israel's winning. And it's like, what are you winning? Or like we're going to fight to we are going to win. What are you winning? At the end of the day, what are you winning? I don't understand this end game. Like, get out of here. There's nothing to win except for a turd sandwich for everyone. Like,
it's an unfortunate dance that they cannot delock from. They're trapped in a fucking merry-go-round dance.
Yeah.
They can't stop it.
Hey, I do the dog tea.
But that's world round.
Again,
no, you're right. No, you're right.
Like, I think the last moral war was like World War II.
Oh.
Every single war after that was like bullshit.
If you talk to people on this app, they're not going to say it was a moral war. And to tell you the truth, everybody was fucked up. 60 million people died in just a couple years. 60 million.
Yeah, that's really sad.
60 million in Europe alone. And then another 50 million in the Pacific.
But see, that was the world before internet communication. Now, the mind control is in the palm of everybody's hand. Before, it was on the radio and the television and the newspaper. But, the whole world was sacrificing themselves needlessly in huge World War I the trench warfare, 60,000 gone in a day, just in a couple hours from machine guns. People saying charge into machine guns. Same thing in the Civil War here in the U.S. It is brainwashed people marching into bullets for no fucking reason.
And it's so funny. It was just like, when they tell them citizenship, I was like, what I want anything to do with Italy. Like, I love you, but I have nothing to do. Like, I'm pretty anti-Europe because of the colonialism, so I don't even visit there. Like, I'd rather go to South America. Asia, the United States, I love America, or Canada. But Europe, I get the heebie-jeebies. Do you guys feel that whenever you go to Europe? You're just like, this land is like sucked in blood.
I haven't been to Europe, and I can't say I want to go there, but...
It's actually nice, but I get the heebie-jeebies, It's like, they call themselves like progressive and everything. I'm like, literally 75 years ago, American GIs had to land here to finish this war, and so did the Soviet communists. What are you talking about the Middle East or Africa and blah, blah, blah? Like literally 50 million Europeans died here 75 years ago. That's why they call it the greatest generation.
It's super trolls. It's Adolf Hitler's, Napoleon Bonaparte. It's super trolls.
Or how many people have died in the past 4 years?
4 years of the world?
Like how many people have died?
Well, if there's 8 billion people, the mortality rate is like 0.05% a year. I mean, that's like 160 million people.
Okay, so, and I think that's how many people have died by. I mean, this year alone, I can't even imagine how many boomers have died. I mean, this is like, no, this is a war, like, this is war, and people don't even realize it. Like, like, there's been a war going on just because people haven't been shooting each other and stuff like that. In the United States, essentially, they haven't been, like, bombing people in the United States. It's this entire time, people have been dying of all sorts of things. This is war.
Welcome to life. It's called, death, kill or be killed, death, life. I mean, people are being born, people are dying. I mean, it's not, you're not describing anything new. History just keeps repeating itself.
I know that. Well, so I'm like way behind y'all, like you. You guys have been like, I never was on social media, like really before I came into Clubhouse, because I was like doing stuff. I was teaching, I was coaching cheerleading, I was doing, like, I didn't give a fuck. And I'll be honest, I was a lot happier. But ignorance is not bliss, though. I'll say that, too. But, yeah, I'm behind Edmund, so I know that you like to tell me how behind I am all the time, but I'm willing to learn stuff. I like to learn stuff. You just are like...
Well, go ahead, read a book. I don't know what to tell you. Come on here, read a book, invite me to a room where I listen to you read a book, and then I'll know you're actually studying something. Until then, you're just having you're talking about nothing, learning how to waste your time. That's it. Books are the only thing that's what you need, is a book. A good book.
Yeah, I read a book. I read one book a week.
No, not fiction about love and drama
I do not own one fiction book. I only have nonfiction books in my home.
Well, anyways.
One thing I learned? One thing I learned? I just want to say real quickly.
And I read the Bible every day.
Yeah.
Very filling.
Just want to say to you guys, take advantage of where you are. Like, I realized recently, like being in Australia, like, you go to New Zealand, you go to Cops Harbour, you go to the countries like near you, Thailand, Indonesia, Malaysia, Vietnam, blah, blah, blah. And then you realize that it's kind of dope. I like living. And that's what makes it forget about all these debt. And it's like, if you get the time, just go somewhere. This 9-to-5 rock is going to kill you. Yeah. So it's like, take my boy or take your daughter somewhere. And just go when you have the chance. Because it can get a little overwhelming. But when you beat that mess on Friday night or whatever, you're going to be right. And just do it. Because I used to get so depressed about so many things. And then I realized, I go somewhere and I do this and I do that. It's kind of okay. And I tend to forget the world's problems. Like the fact that I don't know what's going on in some places in the world. Ignorance is bliss. It means you're living.
No.
It's a good thing.
I think I used to say that term all the time, ignorance is bliss, and then now, like in the past 4 years, really breaking that down. I don't believe that to be true.
Exactly. Because some of the happiest people are the most ignorant people because they just live.
But I mean, that's the people that are yelling in the street. This is what democracy looks like.
If that's true, we'll always defeat them. There's more of us.
Those are people who actually take more direct action than lazy people here on the Clown House. Like, people here on the Clown House are smarter in a way because there's no point to go waste all that energy marching in the streets when you can project to more people probably on this app and other platforms. It's a prioritization of communication propaganda.
And assimilation.
No, but a lot of those people, like, they do dark in, like, a university. Did you ever guys see those people at university, like, Socialist Alliance or Communist Alliance and all that? And
Yeah, Trump just deported that Chinese chick. You're done. Bye. Get him out of here. Bye-bye. Back to reading books instead of being hypnotized by your drums and your screaming.
Did you really deport her?
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, you didn't see the video of the police detaining her and ripping her mask off her face?
No.
I saw the video, but I didn't see her getting deported.
I didn't. Are you
Yeah,
serious?
she's a Chinese radical. Literally, a Chinese intelligence agent here disseminating propaganda, causing chaos.
Ew. Where can I find the video? I didn't go on.
Just go on YouTube, Google X. I mean, it was seen by hundreds of millions of people.
I know. I try not to I try not to go on. I try to go on only one social media thing a day. Like, so I will not open up Twitter. I will not open up Instagram. It's too much. Nope.
Try reading a book. It's a lot of information in books too.
Nah, I'd rather be stupid.
Well, then just keep wasting your time here on this app because I gotta tell you, every single room on this app is made for stupid people.
Yeah, because they said, why are you on here?
Including the ones that you amplify?
I come here to bottle the dumb, bottle the stupid, put it in a bottle so I don't carry it around with me, and to remind all the stupid people that I'm bottling them up to put them in bottles full of stupid people.
I talked to somebody yesterday morning who, you were the topic of discussion, and you're really disliked, actually, Edmund. They said that your name actually comes from the street that you lived on in Chicago, and that they know your name as something else, and it was just weird, and I didn't want to get into it.
Yeah, I'm transparent. I don't have anything to hide in my life.
He's always put his, he's had his accounts with his first and last name on here.
Yeah, I mean, if some Democrat liberal wants to show up at my house with like a letter of complaint, or sue me or try to knife me or bat me, I mean, I don't think it's going to happen. I think what we're dealing with here on this app is a lot of low IQ dumb people, a lot of fat people, a lot of senior citizens, and they use this app as their projection platform because they're too weak and ineffective to actually do anything in the real world other than run their fucking mouths around this app. So even though I may be ill-spoken of, I got no problem with that.
My question to you, sir, is why were you not more delicate with their feelings?
Because if you're a patriot, there's no time. I'm not here to facilitate therapy for everyone. Maybe for some people that I like.
You did cause her harm.
I caused who harm?
Well, potentially what he's doing.
I have to keep the names of my sources confident.
You work for New York Times, I see. Okay, so you're like a New York Times news reporter journalist. Got it. Cool.
Do you have anonymous sources on Clubhouse? What kind of bullshit is
Anonymous Clubhouse sources, Sasha. Listen, I'm a fan of Dune, I mean, if we can't talk about Dune and how that movie is mirroring our reality right now, and it always is, whether it's Iraq or it's Gaza or wherever, there are houses in the Landsrod, kingdoms, and, I got to tell you, I'm just a nobody. But if I can cause some problems here on this app, well, then I'm playing a kingdom game in the social media realm of stupid people. But nonetheless, this is our kingdom. It's kind of like what Caesar said. I'd rather be, what did he say? Like,
Gay than not gay.
No, it's something about like I'd rather be the last man in Rome than not the first, or last man in a village than not the first man in Rome, something like that. Like I'm pushing my boundaries on this app, but I'm not a violent person. I'm trying to be intelligent with regards to what I say. And, if I have to push people's buttons to try to essentially prove to them that what they're doing is anti-American, I will do that.
Well, I did have a bleeding heart for this old, decrepit Jewish lady who was slandering you, and I did say that Edmund was kind of sober in what I discussed things with him, and they didn't have it, but I was okay. I don't need to play sides. I was just defending both positions.
Yeah, I mean, if you're an American, I don't care what religion, race, color, creed, or whatever the fuck you are. You have to be American and pro-America. If you're anti-America, I don't know how you expect Americans to solve any problems internationally before we solve our problems here at home. I'm definitely America first. MAGA Maha, you know. I live in Illinois, so I'm MILGA, make Illinois great again.
Apparently you ran for office too, right? That's that's very good.
Yeah, I took actual action. Service
oriented, yeah.
And you know,
we need more.
I'm willing to talk to anybody. And you know, when people from opposing parties, because believe me, running as a Republican amongst all liberal Democrats, they want to come up to you and get very abrasive. And I just take out my pen and paper and say, tell me, what are your 3 biggest desires? You know, if you were made king, if you were in charge, what would you want? And I listen. I just take their notes down like I'm a waiter at a restaurant trying to give them service. And I'll prioritize my list of the to-dos that people give me. I don't understand. Like, is there anything more practical or pragmatic for a politician to do for people that vote for him? You know, I mean, let's hear what the fuck these people want. But anyways, I mean, I'm running again. I'm running again, and my campaign started today, really. But we're gonna create the content.
I'd vote for you if I was in your constituency.
Yeah, thanks. I mean, you know, it's we have good people here in Chicago, but unfortunately, the whole city is like, it's totally bankrupt. So it's got a major financial crisis, and if people running for office don't talk about the financial crisis, they can't connect with your average property tax, you know, taxpayer, because those are the people who are voting, and those are the ones who are on the hook for the math. I mean, who wants to own a house in Chicago if you're retired when your property taxes are going to keep going up just so you can support people's pensions? It's like, what? The whole system has become become a fucking Ponzi scheme. And so they have to have massive financial restructuring and be transparent about it. Otherwise, I mean, you know, it's not really, there's no fix. I mean, eventually, not even eventually, but right now the system's completely broken because they're borrowing month after month to continue to pay pensions now. So anyways, it's a financial crisis. There's no money.
What's the population of like the kind of greater Chicago area? Because it's big. I only went there 2 times. One time recently, like 18 months ago.
I think Chicago
it's really, really big.
It's big. Chicago Metro is like 13.5 million, 15.5 million.
Jesus Christ.
But that's nothing. Wow. Look at China's top cities. I mean, if I were to ask you what's China's biggest city, you probably won't even know.
Either Shenzhen or Shanghai. I lived in China for fucking 10 years, dude.
Then you could easily tell me what's the biggest city in China.
I just said either Shanghai or Shenzhen. I don't know which one is it. Beijing. I fucking don't know. I'm 15 years removed. Things move fast there.
What I'm saying is, really, the point is that there are 50 cities in China that are bigger than any U.S. city.
When Marco Polo went over there, or whatever, you know, fucking white man rapist back, you know, 600 years ago, they came back and they said that there were like multiple cities with more than 1 million people. It's retarded. It's huge. But Chinese people are different. They're more like insects and cattle than human beings in terms of how they exist, just because of their collective structure. So you can't compare, like, it's inappropriate to compare like the population of a Western city with a East Asian city, because they're just different people. They behave differently. Sorry, I'm eating pizza. And when I eat pizza, I tend to talk a little bit honestly.
Okay, so I changed the room to Israel, USA versus Palestine. Invasion imminent. Hamas last stand. We are going to try to initiate an acceleration program to get the United States Marine Corps and the 1st Infantry Cavalry Division to invade at the shores of Kitover. We'll see if this neurolinguistic programming butterfly can create a time ripple so that Donald Trump, just like the Marines, go to Gallipoli and sing the song one more time.
I think I ran out Anne and the 8-chick guy with my exuberance.
Oh no. We were just capping them off. I have been recording them for like 2 hours now, so they finally reached their limitation. Somebody came in and started saying, "You're dumb." And then Anne was like...
I actually quite like Anne. There was no, seriously. They, true story. They clipped her account. She didn't have an iPhone or something, so I had an old iPhone. I just mailed it to her. I wiped it, I mailed it to her, and she was using it for iPhone and stuff because they MAC address it or something. And she was really grateful, and she was nice, and she said thank you, and I was happy to do that.
No, I mean, I like everybody. Thing is, like, you know, there's some people that I like listening to more than others, and I don't like particularly listening to Anne all that much.
Well, she's female. I mean, that's like 50% of it.
No, it's just she's got like bad takes on everything. You know, for somebody who says she's MAGA, it's like everything she says is like fucking bad takes. It's like, she didn't fucking read the news. She just admitted she doesn't even look at social media. She opens like one fucking app a day. She's like a low IQ voter as well. I mean, she'll probably fucking vote Democrat. She'll vote Democrat in her next election, I guarantee you.
Nah, she flip-flopped once because she's an ex-Democrat. You know, maybe she'll flip-flop back again if it's appropriate to do so, but who cares if she's low IQ or low information? I'm not going to make those judgment calls. I think she's a nice person. And I think what we need is more civility rather than people fucking killing
We don't
each other.
just need nice people, we need smart people, because she wastes a lot of people's time and she wastes her own fucking time.
Could you imagine if it was all smart people? It'd be the worst. It'd be the fucking worst.
No, it wouldn't. Everybody would shut up. Nobody would be fucking talking. There'd be nothing to talk about.
Smart people get more ideologically captured than stupid people.
See, that's the difference. Sasha, that is the difference between wisdom seekers and fake political, intellectual, fake scientists, okay? People who study wisdom and philosophy, they learn, shut the fuck up. Because all this talking and all these words are really the stupid part of the game.
You need to refine smart, the terminology of smart, because wisdom seekers and people that are into philosophy, I wouldn't necessarily call smart, I'd call wise, right?
Well, what do you think being smart is?
Smart is being able to get yourself out of a maze rapidly. It's brute force IQ. At least that's how the term is used. And a lot of these people are really easier to convince of bad ideas than stupid people, because they have less life experience, because they leverage their mental horsepower to get out of mazes very quickly. And they're confused. It's very easy to confuse wisdom and intelligence. I get what you're saying. I would like to believe that smart people are the wise people. It's a category that I'd like to put myself in. But that's not, when you say the word smart, that's not what people think. They don't think wise. They don't think people that are going to like pass on lineages further into the future, or they don't think people that will be able to prepare for the unknown. They just think of people that have money, or people who can like do stuff like with their brain. I'm done with my diatribe. I think it makes sense.
Well, okay, let me make a demonstration. I'm just going to play the Tao Te Ching. Feel free to leave anytime you want, but at least I will be providing this room with high quality wisdom information transmission as opposed to all the useless bullshit. Because I am competitively reframing this app, and I believe that every room is low IQ dumb people talking about nothing, wasting time. That's honestly what's happening in every fucking room. I'm just competitively reframing now.
42. The Tao gives birth to one 1 gives birth to 2. 2 gives birth to 3. 3 gives birth to all things. All things have their backs to the female and stand facing the male. When male and female combine, all things achieve harmony.
That's a beautiful beard, mister. Wow, such a handsome man. Do you use shampoo? Because you might want to try Head and Shoulders in that scalp of yours. Try to get out from underneath that dandruff problem.
Aloneness, realizing he is one with the whole universe. 43. The gentlest thing in the world overcomes the hardest thing in the world. That which has no substance enters where there is no space. This shows the value of non-action. Teaching without words, performing without actions. That is the master's way. 44. Fame or integrity, which is more important? Money or happiness, which is more valuable? Success or failure, which is more destructive? If you look to others for fulfillment, you will never truly be fulfilled. If your happiness depends on money, you will never be happy with yourself. Be content with what you have. Rejoice in the way things are. When you realize there is nothing lacking, the whole world belongs to you. 45. True perfection seems imperfect, yet it is perfectly itself. True fullness seems empty, yet it is fully present. True straightness seems crooked. True wisdom seems foolish. True art seems artless. The master allows things to happen. She shapes events as they come. She steps out of the way and lets the Tao speak for itself. 46. When a country is in harmony with the Tao, the factories make trucks and tractors. When a country goes counter to the Tao, warheads are stockpiled outside the cities. There is no greater illusion than fear, no greater wrong than preparing to defend yourself, no greater misfortune than having an enemy. Whoever can see through all fear will always be safe. 47. Without opening your door, you can open your heart to the world. Without looking out your window, you can see the essence of the Tao. The more you know, the less you understand. The master arrives without leaving, sees the light without looking, achieves without doing a thing. 48. In the pursuit of knowledge, every day something is added. In the practice of the Tao, every day something is dropped. Less and less do you need to force things, until finally you arrive at non-action. When nothing is done, nothing is left undone. True mastery can be gained by letting things go their own way. It can't be gained by interfering. 49. The The master has no mind of her own. She works with the mind of the people. She is good to people who are good. She's also good to people who aren't good. This is true goodness. She trusts people who are trustworthy. She also trusts people who aren't trustworthy. This is true trust. The master's mind is like space. People don't understand her. They look to her and wait. She treats them like her own children. 50. The master gives himself up to whatever the moment brings. He knows that he is going to die, and he has nothing left to hold on to. No illusions in his mind. No resistances in his body. He doesn't think about his actions. They flow from the core of his being. He holds nothing back from life. Therefore, he is ready for death, as a man is ready for sleep after a good day's work. 51. Every being in the universe is an expression of the Tao. It springs into existence, unconscious, perfect, free, takes on a physical body, lets circumstances complete it. That is why every being spontaneously honors the Tao. The Tao gives birth to all beings, nourishes them, maintains them, cares for them, comforts them, protects them, takes them back to itself, creating without possessing, acting without expecting, guiding without interfering. That is why love of the Tao is in the very nature of things. 52. In the beginning was the Tao. All things issue from it. All things return to it. To find the origin, trace back the manifestations. When you recognize the children and find the mother, you will be free of sorrow. If you close your mind in judgments and traffic with desires, your heart will be troubled. If you keep your mind from judging and aren't led by the senses, your heart will find peace. Seeing into darkness is clarity. Knowing how to yield is strength. Use your own light and return to the source of light. This is called practicing eternity. 53. The great way is easy, yet people prefer the side path.
What is that, Sasha?
Wu Wei.
Yeah, Wu Wei.
Be aware when things are out of balance. Stay centered within the Tao. When rich speculators prosper, while farmers lose their land. When government officials spend money on weapons instead of cures. When the upper class is extravagant and irresponsible, while the poor have nowhere to turn. All this is robbery and chaos. It is not in keeping with the Tao. 54. Whoever is planted in the Tao will not be rooted up. Whoever embraces the Tao will not slip away. Her name will be held in honor from generation to generation. Let the Tao be present in your life. and you will become genuine. Let it be present in your family, and your family will flourish. Let it be present in your country, and your country will be an example to all countries in the world. Let it be present in the universe, and the universe will sing. How do I know this is true? By looking inside myself. 55. He who is in harmony with the Tao is like a newborn child. Its bones are soft, its muscles are weak, but its grip is powerful. It doesn't know about the union of male and female, yet its penis can stand erect. So intense is its vital power. It can scream its head off all day, yet it never becomes hoarse. So complete is its harmony. The Master's power is like this. He lets all things come and go, effortlessly, without desire. He never expects results. Thus he is never disappointed. He is never disappointed. Thus his spirit never grows old. 56. Those who know don't talk. Those who talk don't know. Close your mouth. Block off your senses. Blunt your sharpness. Untie your knots. Soften your glare. Settle your dust. This is the primal identity. Be like the Tao. It can't be approached or withdrawn from, benefited or harmed, honored or brought into disgrace. It gives itself up continually. That is why it endures. 57. If you want to be a great leader, you must learn to follow the Tao. Stop trying to control. Let go of fixed plans and concepts, and the world will govern itself. The more prohibitions you have, the less virtuous people will be. The more weapons you have, the less secure people will be. The more subsidies you have, the less self-reliant people will be. Therefore, the Master says, I let go of the law, and people become honest. I let go of economics, and people become prosperous. I let go of religion, and people become serene. I let go of all desire for the common good, and the good becomes common as grass. 58. If a country is governed with tolerance, the people are comfortable and honest. If a country is governed with repression, the people are depressed and crafty. When the will to power is in charge, the higher the ideals, the lower the results. Try to make people happy, and you lay the groundwork for misery. Try to make people moral, and you lay the groundwork for vice. Thus the Master is content to serve as an example and not to impose her will. She is pointed, but doesn't pierce. Straightforward, but supple. Radiant, but easy on the eyes. 59. For governing a country well, there is nothing better than moderation. The mark of a moderate man is freedom from his own ideas. Tolerant like the sky, all-pervading like sunlight, firm like a mountain, supple like a tree in the wind. He has no destination in view, and makes use of anything life happens to bring his way. Nothing is impossible for him. Because he has let go, he can care for the people's welfare, as a mother cares for her child. 60. Governing a large country is like frying a small fish. You spoil it with too much poking. Center your country in the Tao, and evil will have no power. Not that it isn't there, but you'll be able to step out of its way. Give evil nothing to oppose, and it will disappear by itself. 61. When a country obtains great power, it becomes like the sea. All streams run downward into it. The more powerful it grows, the greater the need for humility. Humility means trusting the Tao, thus never needing to be defensive. A great nation is like a great man. When he makes a mistake, he realizes it. Having realized it, he admits it. Having admitted it, he corrects it. He considers those who point out his faults as his most benevolent teachers. He thinks of his enemy as the shadow that he himself casts. If a nation is centered in the Tao, if it nourishes its own people and doesn't meddle in the affairs of others, it will be a light to all nations in the world. 62. The Tao is the center of the universe, the good man's treasure, the bad man's refuge. Honors can be bought with fine words. Respect can be won with good deeds. But the Tao is beyond all value, and no one can achieve it. Thus, when a new leader is chosen, don't offer to help him with your wealth or your expertise. Offer instead to teach him about the Tao. Why did the ancient masters esteem the Tao? Because, being one with the Tao, when you seek, you find. And when you make a mistake, you are forgiven. That is why everybody loves it. 63. Act without doing. Work without effort. Think of the small as large, and the few as many. Confront the difficult while it is still easy. Accomplish the great task by a series of small acts. The master never reaches for the great. Thus she achieves greatness. When she runs into a difficulty, she stops and gives herself to it. She doesn't cling to her own comfort. Thus, problems are no problem for her. 64. What is rooted is easy to nourish. What is recent is easy to correct. What is brittle is easy to break. What is small is easy to scatter. Prevent trouble before it arises. Put things in order before they exist. The giant pine tree grows from a tiny sprout. The journey of 1,000 miles starts from beneath your feet. Rushing into action, you fail. Trying to grasp things, you lose them. Forcing a project to completion, you ruin what was almost ripe. Therefore, the master takes action by letting things take their course. He remains as calm at the end as at the beginning. He has nothing, thus has nothing to lose. What he desires is non-desire. What he learns is to unlearn. He simply reminds people of who they have always been. He cares about nothing but the Tao. Thus, he can care for all things. 65. The ancient masters didn't try to educate the people, but kindly taught them to not know. When they think that they know the answers, people are difficult to guide. When they know that they don't know, people can find their own way. If you want to learn how to govern, avoid being clever or rich. The simplest pattern is the clearest. Content with an ordinary life, you can show all people the way back to their own true nature. '66. All streams flow to the sea because it is lower than they are. Humility gives it its power. If you want to govern the people, you must place yourself below them. If you want to lead the people, you must learn how to follow them. The master is above the people, and no one feels oppressed. She goes ahead of the people, and no one feels manipulated. The whole world is grateful to her, because she competes with no one. No one can compete with her. 67. Some say that my teaching is nonsense. Others call it lofty, but impractical. But to those who have looked inside themselves, this nonsense makes perfect sense. And to those who put it into practice, this loftiness has roots that go deep. I have just 3 things to teach: simplicity, patience, compassion. These 3 are your greatest treasures. Simple in actions and in thoughts, you return to the source of being. Patient with both friends and enemies, you accord with the way things are. Compassionate toward yourself, you reconcile all beings in the world. 68. The best athlete wants his opponent at his best. The best general enters the mind of his enemy. The best businessman serves the communal good. The best leader follows the will of the people. All of them embody the virtue of non-competition. Not that they don't love to compete, but they do it in the spirit of play. In this, they are like children, and in harmony with the Tao. 69. The generals have a saying: Rather than make the first move, it is better to wait and see. Rather than advance an inch, it is better to retreat a yard. This is called going forward without advancing, pushing back without using weapons. There's no greater misfortune than underestimating your enemy. Underestimating your enemy means thinking that he is evil. Thus, you destroy your three treasures and become an enemy yourself. When two great forces oppose each other, the victory will go to the one that knows how to yield. 70. My teachings are easy to understand and easy to put into practice. Yet your intellect will never grasp them, and if you try to practice them, you'll fail. My teachings are older than the world. How can you grasp their meaning? If you want to know me, look inside your heart. 71. Not knowing is true knowledge. Presuming to know is a disease. First realize that you are sick, then you can move toward health. The master is her own physician. She has healed herself of all knowing. Thus, she is truly whole. 72. When they lose their sense of awe, people turn to religion. When they no longer trust themselves, they begin to depend upon authority. Therefore, the master steps back so that people won't be confused. He teaches without a teaching, so that people will have nothing to learn. 73. The Tao is always at ease. It overcomes without competing, answers without speaking a word, arrives without being summoned, accomplishes without a plan. Its net covers the whole universe, and though its meshes are wide, it doesn't let a thing slip through. 74. If you realize that all things change, there is nothing you will try to hold on to. If you aren't afraid of dying, there is nothing you can't achieve. Trying to control the future is like trying to take the master carpenter's place. When you handle the master carpenter's tools, chances are that you'll cut your hand. 75. When taxes are too high, people go hungry. When the government is too intrusive, people lose their spirit. Act for the people's benefit. Trust them. Leave them alone. 76. Men are born soft and supple. Dead, they are stiff and hard. Plants are born tender and pliant. Dead, they are brittle and dry. Thus, whoever is stiff and inflexible is a disciple of death. Whoever is soft and yielding is a disciple of life. The hard and stiff will be broken. The soft and supple will prevail. 77. As it acts in the world, the Tao is like the bending of a bow. The top is bent downward. The bottom is bent up. It adjusts excess and deficiency so that there is perfect balance. It takes from what is too much and gives to what isn't enough. Those who try to control, who use force to protect their power, go against the direction of the Tao. They take from those who don't have enough and give to those who have far too much. The master can keep giving because there is no end to her wealth. She acts without expectation, succeeds without taking credit, and doesn't think that she is better than anyone else. 78. Nothing in the world is as soft and yielding as water. Yet for dissolving the hard and inflexible, nothing can surpass it. The soft overcomes the hard. The gentle overcomes the rigid. Everyone knows this is true, but few can put it into practice. Therefore, the master remains serene in the midst of sorrow. Evil cannot enter his heart. Because he has given up helping, he is people's greatest help. True words seem paradoxical. 79. Failure is an opportunity. If you blame someone else, there is no end to the blame. Therefore, the master fulfills her own obligations and corrects her own mistakes. She does what she needs to do and demands nothing of others. 80. If a country is governed wisely, its inhabitants will be content. They enjoy the labor of their hands and don't waste time inventing labor-saving machines. Since they dearly love their homes, they aren't interested in travel. There may be a few wagons and boats, but these don't go anywhere. There may be an arsenal of weapons, but nobody ever uses them. People enjoy their food, take pleasure in being with their families, spend weekends working in their gardens, delight in the doings of the neighborhood. And even though the next country is so close that people can hear its roosters crowing and its dogs barking, they are content to die of old age without ever having gone to see it. 81. True words aren't eloquent. Eloquent words aren't true. Wise men don't need to prove their point. Men who need to prove their point aren't wise. The master has no possessions. The more he does for others, the happier he is. The more he gives to others, the wealthier he is. The Tao nourishes by not forcing. By not dominating, the master leads. too. Of the way in which true teaching happens. He who knows doesn't talk, but words are no hindrance for him. He uses them as he would use gardening tools. When someone asks, he answers. Tao Te Ching. 1. The Tao that can be told is not the eternal Tao. The name that can be named is not the eternal name. The unnameable is the eternally real. Naming is the origin of all particular things. Free from desire, you realize the mystery. Caught in desire, you see only the manifestations. Yet mystery and manifestations arise from the same source. This source is called darkness. Darkness within darkness. The gateway to all understanding. 2. When people see some things as beautiful, other things become ugly. When people see some things as good, other things become bad. Being and non-being create each other. Difficult and easy support each other. Long and short define each other. High and low depend on each other. Before and after follow each other. Therefore the master acts without doing anything and teaches without saying anything. Things arise and she lets them come. Things disappear and she lets them go. She has but doesn't possess, acts but doesn't expect. When her work is done, she forgets it. That is why it lasts forever. 3. If you overesteem great men, people become powerless. If you overvalue possessions, people begin to steal. The master leads by emptying people's minds and filling their cores, by weakening their ambition and toughening their resolve. He helps people lose everything they know, everything they desire, and creates confusion in those who think that they know. Practice not doing, and everything will fall into place. 4. The Tao is like a well, used but never used up. It is like the eternal void, filled with infinite possibilities. It is hidden but always present. I don't know who gave birth to it. It is older than God. 5. The Tao doesn't take sides. It gives birth to both good and evil. The Master doesn't take sides. She welcomes both saints and sinners. The Tao is like a bellows. It is empty yet infinitely capable. The more you use it, the more it produces. The more you talk of it, the less you understand. Hold on to the center. 6. The Tao is called the Great Mother. Empty, yet inexhaustible, it gives birth to infinite worlds. It is always present within you. You can use it any way you want. 7. The Tao is infinite.
I don't know if you've heard this. I'm in Montana. We used to have a lot of logging. We had, mines. We had mills everywhere. Alberta. Hold on. We had, Yeah, we had mills in Montana, Idaho, and Washington, and they were good jobs. My stepdad worked for Stimson Lumber. It was a mill up here that worked really good. They had one in Thompson Falls. Anyway, mills all over the place. It was good fucking paying jobs. And then Bill Clinton put in NAFTA, with the free trade agreements in Canada. They subsidized their timber industry, and then it would come over our borders for free, with no tariffs. And so with the subsidized lumber from Canada, along with the no tariffs, it was just cheaper. We couldn't compete. And so 95% of our
shoes every day?
No, I mean, I have 2 sets of steel-toe shoes, but
Yeah. I started reading that Red Queen book. That's why I brought that up.
Yeah, T, I think that Christian is my new favorite theist on this.
Yeah, not my first time encountering him. He's a fun one.
Internet trolling and yelling at Jews over the internet to doing it in real life. Yeah. She crossed the hurdle into real life for that.
Yeah, there's not really like a barrier. Like the way these people are acting on this app, that is how they are. They're just usually not in a situation where they're like, hashing it out with a bunch of angry minorities from another country, and they're like all captive while in their own safe little space.